Hello, everyone. So, Nick and I wanted to hop on here and do a closing of 2020. And we were also reminiscing about the days when we used to do podcasts and videos on this chair that we've now moved downstairs. But 2020 has been a pretty wild ride, I think, for all of us.
A little bit.
And, we wanted to take a moment to reflect on some of the personal things that we feel like 2020 has shown us and some of the things that we're taking away as we move into the new year. And, I feel that a lot of people have started to see different things or they've had different experiences through the year, and it's a lot to process. And I think that we're all hoping for better days ahead, but sometimes feeling like, well, we don't know what to expect, and I don't really know how to move forward. So, some of the things that I've personally noticed is that a lot of people have slowed down and a lot of people have started to do things that they never had time to do. We live in New Jersey and a lot of our clientele, yeah, go, go, go. And a lot of our clientele has been commuting into New York City or even Philadelphia. And they've taken a pause and they've started to really reflect on the things that are important to them and realizing that they potentially don't want to go back to that really, really intense life.
Yes, when you look at 2020, there's a lot of drawbacks, but there's an equal amount of benefits. And being able to slow down, reflect on what was most important to you has been not only amazing for us, both personally as well as in business, but I find it with a lot of our clients, being able to help them see that there was
Mhm.
benefits as well as drawbacks, to be able to use not only the benefits, but also use the drawbacks to serve themselves and what's most important to them.
Yeah. I think another big thing that's really stood out to me is how many individuals are unsure of where their health is at. So, this has obviously propelled a lot of individuals to be very, very fearful of the pandemic because they don't know where their health stands, or they knowingly know that their health is not in a good standing and they are immune compromised or they do suffer from various autoimmune conditions. And I think that this has shed light on the fact that most of our system is based on band-aid approach. And it's not necessarily helping individuals to get to a healthier place, but it's really just using a modality, a pill, or a surgery to cover up symptoms. And this is something that we obviously feel so passionately about in what we do. But being able to step into 2021 and potentially getting more information on where your health is at, because it's a really, really uncomfortable and disempowering place to really have no idea if you're in good health or not.
Yeah, I mean, 2020 really showed us that we hold a lot of anxiety and fear. And when you look at that, it really comes from the foundation of not having clarity or certainty. We think that we're healthy just because we don't have symptoms, but that's really not true at all. That's what we've been programmed to think. And when we do have a symptom,
It's our normal.
we run for a pill for the ill.
Yeah.
And
But this is how we've all been programmed to think at the same time. But, there's a lot of things that we're all dealing with as a culture. And it's our normal. It's normal to not have the best sleep. It's normal to need Tylenol most days. It's normal to have migraines. It's normal to have abnormal bowel movements. It's normal to feel fatigued. And unfortunately, it is not normal. It hasn't been like this for, decades upon decades. It's been something that's really been happening over the past 15 years. And this is due to a variety of different factors that no one is really talking about. And this is really what we do in our practice, is shed light on that to give you answers, but to give you a solution and give you a solution that is personalized to you. And I think that that's really, really significant. But, in addition is, I think one of the biggest things that we have seen over and over, and this is friends, family, patients, whomever, is that we're often silencing ourselves in order to make other people happy. And in the event of this pandemic, there has been a lot of authoritative people coming forward of wear your mask, stand far away, don't hang out with family, don't do this, don't do that. And there's been a lot of people that have felt that it's okay to project their values and to project their fear onto others. And out of respect or out of uncertainty, a lot of us have continued to silence our beliefs, our values, and even science. And overall, I think that this is something that we really need to take a step back and think about as we move into a new year is, are you going to keep silencing yourself based on wanting to make everybody else happy, and really just continuing to suppress what you potentially feel is right? And this doesn't mean to go running around and pushing your values onto others, but I think it's just huge for us to know that we have a choice. We
Yeah.
have a choice to who we listen to. We have a choice to what we watch on the media. We have a choice to be on social media. We have a choice in order to create boundaries in our life to really start to move away from the individuals that are pushing their opinions, beliefs, and values onto us.
Yeah, I mean, foundationally, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, for the past, how many months, that's really became our normal. And
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, that normal is not the standards that I want to live my life by. For some people, that's congruent with their value system, and that's perfect for them.
Mhm.
But I'm going to stand up and really live my life according to how I want it to be served and how I want to serve others. And when you look at that, it's like, who are you taking advice from? You know,
Mhm.
and this
Yeah.
for me, it really comes into, there's a lot of loud voices out there,
Mhm.
but the loudness doesn't really make the content better, more valuable, more honest, more truthful, more accurate. So it's really like, who are you listening to? Are you listening to influencers that are really influencing and taking people to believe usually their own belief
Yeah.
system, which always and usually isn't always the truth? Or are you listening to leaders? So there's a big difference between influencing and leading,
Mhm.
where, to make it simple, is influencers are pretty much taking a crowd of people and bringing them to serve what's most important to the influencer,
Yeah.
where leaders are really taking out their belief systems but guiding a group of humanity, society, to best serve the whole and not the single individual. So it's really looking at, are the advice we're taking, is it from a leader that really cares the
Mhm.
best about not only you but the whole aspect of humanity and evolving, or is it an influencer where it's really installing a lot of fear
Mhm.
driven modalities to take action that way?
But I think that, another big thing with the leadership side of things is, listening to individuals that have potentially reached the outcome that you are looking for. So they have maybe reached a level of success in their life or their business that you are looking to attain. Maybe they have a family dynamic that you envy, whatever that case may be. But we often find ourselves listening to the loudest person, or listening to the person who is saying, like, if you listen to my belief system or you follow my belief system, then this could be your expectation. But we have to be very cautious with listening to individuals that are just pushing their beliefs, their emotions, and their values onto us. So what we invite you all to do in as we move into this new year is start listening to your internal voice and your internal compass, because truly you do know what's best for you, but we have all of this injected societal values as well as other people chirping in our ear that quiets that voice, and we find that it's often easier just to listen and comply, and instead of potentially confronting situations or making people unhappy. We all want to be liked, and that is a common denominator across the board. It's very uncomfortable if we get into a situation that we feel like we are compromising the ability to be liked. And really, the only person that really suffers is us, is ourselves, because we have to silence ourselves to make other people happy. And I talk about this very often with the different clients that I work with, but it's really, we have a choice as we move into 2021, and we have a choice to take our health into our own hands. We have a choice to be more honest with ourselves and to speak up about what we think is right or valuable. And we also have a choice to create boundaries around people that we find are toxic, or platforms that we find are toxic. So I feel that this is really important information, because I know that we're all home. We're sitting home and we're watching this, and we're spending more and more time on social media, and we're trying to drown things out. But we all have the opportunity to really start focusing on what the heck do I want? What is important to me? What have I been pushing off for years upon years upon years because I've been go, 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 so busy? And, we also have to really remind ourselves that, when we get back into understanding science, is that the healthiest people in the world are in what's called the blue zones. And the blue zones are based on a tribe. They're based on communities that work together, that they cook together, they watch the kids together. And I know that that's not reality for most parts of the world, but what we need to take away from that is human interaction is absolutely essential for happiness, for joy, for health, for a healthy immune system. So please don't forget that. And if that is something that you're going to be doing via Zoom, or you're only going to be getting together with close friends and family that you feel comfortable with, but don't forget that, because when you're sitting back and you're feeling so overwhelmed and you just feel mentally, emotionally, and physically not well, sometimes it's really just a matter of calling someone, picking up the phone, or having that type of human interaction, or hugging your spouse, hugging your kids. I think that a lot of us have become scared of those things. And we need to understand that we've survived hundreds of years with viruses all around us. And, we need to be responsible, but we also need to be responsible to knowing, what is good for the human psyche as well as human biology.
Matter of fact, and I mean, you nailed it. Is we have a choice. So we're going into a brand new year, 2021, and really, when you think about it, we can only control three things. We control our perception of what's happening. We
Mhm.
control the choice, the decisions that we make, and then finally, just taking action. Those are the only three things
Yeah.
that we can control. We can't control what other people think, what other people say, or should we want to? Honestly,
Mhm.
that's just wasting our energy. But really, when looking at 2021, the goal is to primarily, like, we have to start serving ourselves.
Yeah.
We've stopped serving ourselves as a humanity globally,
Mhm.
and we have to start focusing on what's
And we
most.
have guilt and shame
Yep.
when we are serving
We
ourselves.
have to focus on what's most important to me.
Mhm.
And then from there, it's about, loving everybody. We don't have to like everybody, but we really should love everybody.
Yeah.
And really, when you think about what love is it's just acknowledging that somebody can have different belief systems. You can have a
Yeah.
disagreement, and it's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
That we all don't need to agree as a humanity, because disagreements actually is what creates the challenge for us to evolve
To
and grow.
learn. Yeah.
So it's not about, who's right, who's wrong. You can stay in your own belief system, but it's also about being open to listen to
Yeah.
the other person.
And be respectful as well, is it doesn't have to turn into something that is highly emotional because of triggers. We've had a lot of comfortable conflict, I would say uncomfortable conflict that turned into comfortable conflict, on different topics, everything from the pandemic to politics, etc. And we are very open to other people's beliefs. We don't expect anyone to believe what we do. And I think that it's an opportunity for learning, and it's an opportunity for growth. And it's, you don't have to avoid people that you feel that, your values or your beliefs aren't the same. It's just being able to know that, like Dr. Nick said, it's okay. It's okay for that, and being able to still enjoy that person for who they are and why they're in your life in the first place. But I think at the same time, it's creating those boundaries for yourself. And as we move into 2021, like Dr. Nick said, is being okay with taking care of yourself. Because if you can take care of yourself, how are you going to show up differently for everyone around you? You can truly start to be an inspiration to others around you. And I think that that is really one of the most impactful things, is when you feel clear, you feel confident, and you're really doing the work on yourself, you show up very differently in your life as well as your relationships. So, whatever that is for you, if it's putting your health first, if it's creating more boundaries around how you use social media or the media, or if it's just being able to show up to conversations more open. Whatever it is for you, we invite you to explore that. And obviously, if you are in need of anything in that realm of health or even mental health, we have a lot of amazing things that we've been working on for 2021. Everything from Dr. Nick is going to be hosting a series, which is going to be really focused on a lot of mental health topics, everything from relationships, divorce, bullying.
Relationships with money, relationships with jobs,
Yeah.
relationship with everything.
Yeah, and it's going to be completely virtual, which we're super excited about. And we obviously have a lot of offerings within our internal practice when it comes to anything health. You know, if you're struggling with your health and you have a lot of symptoms, or you're just trying to get a baseline, we have something for everyone. And we're always making sure that we are doing the best testing and giving you the most clear and personalized roadmap. So we invite you to an amazing 2021. Leave 2020 in the past and let's move forward together and really be able to make it the best year yet.
Love you guys.